Hi, I'm Danny Ecker with the Chicago Business Today Midday Report. Among the key issues in Cubs owner Tom Ricketts' effort to get public funding for a Wrigley Field renovation is the value of the Friendly Confines as a tourist destination. 30% of its ticket sales come from outside Chicago, according to the team, meaning it generates new money coming into the city, but that's just a small piece of the Wrigley puzzle. I recently sat down with Chicago CEO Don Welsh to talk about the value of the classic stadium and how it fits into the greater Windy City tourism picture.
I think when you look at certain cities, whether it's Boston and Fenway or whether it was the old Yankee Stadium, there were certain things where people say, you know what, I've got to go there, and it was on my bucket list. So, you know, when you look at Wrigley in terms of the whole experience, as we talked about it, it's not just sometimes the game, but I would say probably in the case of Wrigley, you get the advantage of probably having a higher degree of out-of-town people coming in saying, I'm going there for that game because of Wrigley and the whole experience than maybe you have in some other cities.
It's a bucket list kind of a thing when you come to Chicago. For Choose Chicago, how does Wrigley Field play into the marketing, to marketing Chicago as a great tourist destination? How do you guys work it in?
Well, you know, we're a city of neighborhoods, and clearly Wrigley is its own neighborhood. So in terms of where people say, you know, I've gone out to Little Italy, or I'm going to Chinatown, or I'm going to be in the downtown area, it's almost that Wrigley becomes its own destination. So we work closely. You know, a lot of our members are merchants, bars, restaurants, entertainment clubs. We work very closely with the Cubs organization to help promote, as we do with all the sports teams here. But I would say right now there's a heightened awareness of people wanting to go to Wrigleyville when there's a game. But as I said to you, I think it's an attraction that somehow people will even find in the dead of winter if they have a chance to go out and just walk around the block and see the stadium.
Sure. From your perspective, does it seem that people in Chicago who maybe don't live on the north side, don't live near Wrigley Field, aren't necessarily around that atmosphere, do they recognize Wrigley Field as the tourist destination that it is, more than just that's where the Cubs play?
Well, you know, I clearly have understood in my time on this job here that there is a clear distinction between Cubs fans and White Sox fans, and I'm probably sure that for you know, people who are dyed in the wool either team, they may the White Sox fans may not view the Wrigley experience as a true tourism destination, but I do think people coming in from outside the area will probably see a little bit more of a balance between the experience versus being there for the baseball experience. And I think that's why people will plan their trip to Chicago, if they're baseball fans, to say, I'm going to take this opportunity to not only visit the city, but experience that as well.
And that's this edition of Chicago Business Today. For more on the stadium public financing debate, check out the focus section in this week's print edition of Cranes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.